had a lot of inquiries of how I do my stiffening of my bowls, and I thought maybe this might help a little bit on answering those questions. I picked out a bowl that I want to shape my crocheted project to, and I wrapped it in plastic wrap. This will help from my bowl sticking to my forming bowl. I placed it on a dish, place it on whatever you like. Just make sure you put something under it so it's easy to clean. I have my project in liquid starch. There are various ways that you can use for stiffeners, from sugar water to glue and water. Whatever your preference is, okay? Sometimes, depending on the type of thread I'm using and how stiff I want it, I use a spray starch that is for heavy stiffing, and just spray it until it's thoroughly saturated, and then proceed on like I am doing now. Squeeze out your project. Make sure that you do not have any excess in here. Be gentle with it, however. As most of you know, the thinner the thread, the gentler you want to work with. You don't want to mess up your project in doing this. Then you're going to lay it over your forming bowl. Again, whatever bowl you want. You have all kinds of options in your home, from cereal bowls to plastic bowls to vases. Anything that you can turn upside down you can use to form on. You're going to work it into the shape that you want it to be. Make sure that all the little loops that you have in your project are also open at this time, that they're not smushed closed, because once it dries, that's how it will be formed. You can reshape it by rinsing out the starch and redoing the whole process again. But doing it one time around is much better. Now, as you're shaping it, make sure you are working the area. It's even on the bowl, so it won't be lopsided when it comes out, when it's done. This project, my loops here actually work to be like little feet of the bowl, so it'll set flat on these. I have done the same pattern in various size threads and with different hooks. This one bowl here is with thread size 30, and I used a 5 hook on that one. And this is a size 10, and I also used a 5 hook on here. So you can see the similarities in them, but you can see how the stitching lays different. It forms different on each of the threads. This project here was done with size 3 thread and a G hook. You're getting a bigger stitching, so you can play with it. Use whatever stitching you have around, or thread that you have around that you'd like to see a bowl made out of, and use different hooks and see what the shapes of the stitches are coming out. Have fun with it. It's one thing that's with crocheting, is you can experiment with it and get such beautiful results. This will now set. I'll probably leave it for about 24 hours. I try to put them away somewhere so that I won't be walking past it continuously, because if I do, I'll be doing like I'm doing now. I'll see that I want to change it a little bit, and I don't want to do that. I want to let it set and dry. The smaller thread, it dried within 4 to 6 hours. This took just a little longer, about 8 hours. So it depends on what you're using. So I will leave this now, and when it's dry, I will put pictures on the website. And I appreciate the questions that everybody's asked, and I hope this has helped. I've enjoyed doing this, and I will continue posting the projects that I do as I go along. Thank you and have a good day.